My name's Casey Ray Hunter. I'm Deputy Director from Future of Music Coalition, and welcome to Day 2 of the Future of Music Policy Summit. On behalf of everyone at FMC, I want to thank you for being part of this event. When our organization came together 11 years ago, we knew there were challenges ahead for the music industry. We also knew that there would be opportunity provided that we could work together to seize those opportunities. Our goal was and remains to make sure that musicians can benefit from these opportunities. I'd like to take a quick moment to recognize the contribution of our founding board members whose wisdom and wit is part of the DNA of Future of Music Coalition. Their vision and commitment to creating better conditions for artists is what has kept this organization on its course since the beginning of the last decade. So to Walter McDonough, Brian Zisk, and Michael Bracey, I say thank you on behalf of our organization. I also say thanks to the rest of our talented board, Brian Calhoun and Farnham Brown, as well as our always ahead of her time founding executive director, Jenny Toomey, who I hope is getting some sleep. And thanks especially to all of you. It's always amazing to see how much enthusiasm for making the world a better place for musicians, songwriters, and composers takes place right here at our conference. There's still so many concerns facing the music community, but it's a testament to all of you that you took time out of your busy lives and careers to consider all of the important issues and hopefully contribute to solutions. This year, we've been taking a close look at how musicians are getting by in an unpredictable economy, with new technologies continuing to reshape practically every aspect of the industry. If you get anything from this conference, I'd love it if you took away an understanding of why it is so important to keep the musician point of view front and center in all of these discussions. Because without creators, we simply don't have an industry. There's so many positives that we can share. We're lucky to have great relationships with artists. Some of them are here at the conference, and you may have seen them yesterday, and some you'll see today. Ozo Motley, Rebecca Gates, Rick from Cheap Trick, Aaron McCown, and we were all just blown away by Aaron. Can we get a quick, fist in the air for Aaron? I thought so. We've witnessed firsthand the achievements of these musicians, which go beyond just making great music and moving audiences. These musicians are true innovators, and it's time to start looking at them that way. And I think it's time to start looking at yourselves that way. So someday when we're at the music nonprofit old folks' home, listening to our antique iPods and shaking our collective canes at the staff, it would be a truly wonderful thing to remember 2011, the year when we all came together in support of the working musician. And then we can take a nap. Wherever we end up, I know that music will continue to bring us together, just like today. So again, I thank you all for being part of our 10th Future of Music Policy Summit, and we look forward to many more opportunities to discuss the issues and fight for a brighter future for music. And tremendous thanks as well to Georgetown University for all of their hospitality and work towards making Summit11 such a welcoming environment for everyone. At this moment, I'd like to introduce Georgetown Provost James O'Donnell, who we are pleased to have say a few words, after which we're honored to welcome to the stage David Lightfoot, Director of the Communication, Culture, and Technology Program right here at Georgetown. Thank you on behalf of FMC and have a great summit.
Thank you, Casey, and good morning, everybody. You know what I find really annoying? I'm sorry, I've been channeling Andy Rooney a bunch the last few days for some reason or another, so I got to do this. You know what I find really annoying is when some guy is talking to you, and it gradually dawns on you that he hasn't even had the courtesy to pop out his earbuds and turn off his iPod. And he probably thinks it's like cute that he's at a Future of Music symposium and so he's listening to Wagner. Well, the answer to that complaint, as is the answer to most of the Andy Rooney complaints over time, is some form of, get over it. Things have changed. Times are different. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to see you all here. Pleasure to know this is going out to many more by the webcast. I was struck in thinking of what I would say and of whether I would pull out my earbuds or not by the way in which we focus on things that don't always seem to be the right thing to focus on. This is a conference in which there's going to be a lot of talk about law and technology and business plans and money, because this is about the future of music, and we all know what music is. But I can't think of this conference without realizing that it's because of all those other things that music isn't what music was and isn't what it will be. I'm an ancient cultural historian. I can tell you a lot about what music was when people used flutes and gongs to honor the gods in their temples. I can tell you about the way ancient philosophers, so deeply impressed with the laws of musical harmony, were convinced that what they saw in the laws of musical harmony was the mind of God at work. And so music becomes a liberal art in the sequence from arithmetic to geometry to music to astronomy, because it was designed to elevate your mind to the realms of the divine, away from the world of appearances, up through the magic of number. Well, last night when I was reaching one arm out of bed to grab my iPad to see if there was something that I wanted to listen to that I was trying to remember what it was and if I could find it, I realized that everything genuinely has changed. About my person at this moment are 3 different electrical devices, each of which could provide me with essentially unlimited access to anything musical that has ever been performed and recorded anywhere, anywhen, 24/7, 24 time zones at a time. When that's true, music itself has changed and changed decisively. What becomes of music now? Who knows? I'm half inclined to think that someday soon they're going to explain to us that trickle doses fed in through bone conductance of dominant chords and major keys are a proven therapy for depression. Okay, maybe it won't happen, but I'm certainly prepared to believe anything that can come in that direction. My hope for this group, my hope for this policy summit, is that you're prepared to think anything, because it's thinking anything that will make it possible to do the next things and to make a future for music that we are all indeed proud of. It's my official provostial pleasure and privilege to welcome you to Georgetown. If you are new, to thank you for those of you who are from Georgetown who are engaged in this enterprise. Georgetown and the Future of Music Summit have been together for a while now, and I'm pleased and looking forward with anticipation to an announcement that my colleague David Lightfoot will make in a few minutes about the future of this partnership. And it makes me all the more happy to get up on my official provostial high horse and utter to you my welcome that we... Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Okay, Shuffle just kicked me over from Wagner to Leonard Cohen, and I'm a really big Leonard Cohen fan, so I think I should get out of the way and just say thank you, congratulations on the good work you do together here, and I hope you all make beautiful music. Welcome to Georgetown.
So it's my fate in life these days to follow the provost, and that's not easy. When the provost and I were young, which began in the late Bronze Age, one of the most innovative and strongest corporations in this country was Kodak. And Kodak was at the forefront of innovations in photography over a very long period. And now Kodak is biting the dust. The US Postal Service is biting the dust. Newspapers are getting thinner and more scant, at least in the industrial Western countries. Outside of those countries, actually, newspapers are getting thicker and more robust because the circumstances are very different as literacy rates increase. The book industry is very different from what it was. And all of this is due to new technology, and what that means effectively is new computational technology. And it's new communication technology, which has helped to undermine tyrants in the Middle East who've been in power over the last 40 years. And some of these political changes are linked to the technological changes. Well, the Communication, Culture and Technology program is concerned with all of these kinds of things. We are concerned with the effects of new technology on cultures, the cultures of science, the culture of business, the culture of government, the culture of journalism, and so on. We want to understand where new technologies come from and what the consequences of those technologies, are. In science, there was a 3-day period last week when we discovered 50 new planets. I mean, this is just an extraordinary development, and that's happening because of new computational technology, because we can sort of measure the perturbations of light waves emanating from stars. We even, of those 50 planets, one of them was orbiting 2 stars, if you can imagine that. Okay, so that was a discovery in one 3-day period of last week. We can tackle questions that were not feasible just a generation ago, and we can tackle them in new ways. And there is much more. There are bigger questions of issues having to do with climate change, for example, which can be approached very differently because of new technology. Well, I don't need to tell you that one area of life that's changed tremendously because of new technology is your world, the world of music. Music is produced very differently, it's disseminated very differently, and it's understood and studied very differently. One of the things that's happening now is that the humanities are engaging with the consequences of new computational technology and dealing with massive data sets. And it's interesting to see where progress can be made. And one of the areas where progress is being made fastest is in music. I was on a panel a couple of years ago where a number of agencies, the National Science Foundation, the National Endowment for the Humanities, and equivalent agencies in the UK and Canada, were looking to fund work in a program called Digging for Data. So where there could be productive work done in the humanities by dealing with massive data sets. And there would be a good case to be made that music was in the lead there. So this is something where you guys are out ahead. So we've had a relationship, Georgetown and the future of music, over several years. Now we're entering into a partnership, and I am delighted to tell you that you will be here again next year, the year after, the year after, the year after, and for the next 5 years, the summit will be held at Georgetown. And I'm hoping that this will just be part of a productive relationship between various components at Georgetown, like the Communication, Culture and Technology program, which so far has not had music as a focus, and we will as part of this partnership, and of course the Performing Arts Department, elements of Georgetown College, and so on. So I hear good reports of what was happening, began happening on Sunday and yesterday, so keep up the good work. And we at Georgetown look forward to working with you intimately over the next several years. Okay, good luck.